Live from the Acres Broadcast Center inside East Stadium, this is the Husker Athletic Director Show with Trev Alberts. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Snap back to Casey. Has some time, takes a deep shot down the field looking for Trey Palmer. He goes out, he makes a catch. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
And Wisconsin, right side swing, Weatherington. She stopped.
Beck Alec gets another. 16 season high blocks. 23-9.
Evans awaits the snap. Good snap. Huskers come after him and block the ball. It's picked up by Hartzog. Malcolm racing to the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Malcolm Hartzog picks up the ball, blocked by Chris Kolarvik, and Nebraska has a special teams touchdown.
Back roll shot from the DS. Kirshen. Here come the Huskers outside set. Kubik, kaboom! Woo-hoo!
MKT, Matty Kubik time.
Simon gets the snap. Steps, throws, pass is intercepted. Picked off Brandon Moore with the INT at the 32-yard line. That a baby Bam. What a pick. Huskers take over.
Huskers scatter and set up the offense. Quick attack back to Alec. Kaboom! Set and match, Big Red.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you. Welcome to our monthly sit-down with the Huskers Athletic Director, Trev Alberts. If you want to be a part of the program tonight, we encourage that. 402-413-2400. That's the number to call. It's also the number to text if that's your preferred mode of communication. We're in the middle part of October, second bye week. It's been kind of a long season at this point in time. And these night road games, Trev, they wear me down.
Well, they wear a lot of people down, and I think it's because we're getting older, Greg.
Yes.
You know, but I think we all got back about 4 o'clock in the morning after the Rutgers game, and more like 2 o'clock in the morning this week against Purdue. But, you know, just really, really proud of our team. You know, proud of the leadership on our team, proud of the fight of these young men, and really want to salute Mickey Joseph. Really proud of his leadership during a challenging time. I've really enjoyed watching, you know, our coaching staff stay unified, had a unity of purpose, and you know, the players have really bought in and are fighting. And I know Nebraska fans are really proud of our football team. And as you mentioned, now we're going to, you know, be moving into some really challenging games. I think this bye week really came at a great time for our team. You know, it's one of the benefits of having that difficult game. You know, we all remember the hard travel going over to Ireland and coming back. Well, here's the benefit. So we get this second bye week where, obviously, you know, you're not going to get totally healed in 2 weeks, but lots of bumps and bruises for our team, and so a great chance again to regroup as we go down the stretch run.
Back-to-back home games coming up with Illinois. We found out yesterday, 2:30 kickoff. This would be nice to have kind of a traditional kickoff time. And you've got a handful of tickets left. You're not done, but you're close, right, with tickets?
Yeah, I kind of want to clean up a little bit. There was some other reports maybe a couple weeks ago that, you know, a donor stepped in, bought all the tickets, and were sold out. The reality is we're, you know, not great in some of the details of our communication. We did have an interested donor who did purchase tickets, but it was really for the Vet Tix program as well as the red carpet experience. And so we've been doing that all along. We've had interested donors who really have a passion of supporting young people and those from marginalized communities who ordinarily might not have an opportunity to experience Husker football. But we do have tickets available. We don't have a lot. I'm really proud of how our fans have responded. But we've got between 200 and 300 tickets available for sale for each of our remaining home games. So I'm confident that we're going to be sold out, but there are tickets available. And again, we just remain really, really grateful for those supporters and donors who care enough about the Red Carpet program and vets and others to support an opportunity to get those individuals within Memorial Stadium.
Very good. Back to Coach Joseph. Are you meeting with him regularly, talking in communications, seeing what he needs to help him get through the end of this season?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I kind of carried on that tradition. I think it's really good, especially with football, all the things that are happening. Once you get the game over, not immediately, but usually Sundays at 1 o'clock, Mickey and I have our general meetings, and we talk through areas and challenges. And you know, you want to be really careful. I mean, you don't want to be giving too much. I'm sure that Coach Joseph is getting a lot of recommendations. The reality is I just want to be a resource for him. I want to be supportive and helpful where he thinks, but he's done a great job in leading himself, and just really proud of where he is and where the rest of our coaches are.
And it's tough to be one of the other assistant coaches. This is an unsettling time in their life, but I feel like they're locked in, their concentration, they're coaching kids, they're working with the players a lot. I think the entire staff's doing a really nice job.
Well, I totally agree with you, Greg. I mean, this is a situation, you know, these aren't fun transitions, you know, and when you really think back to when that decision was made and communicated, there's a real opportunity to do one of two things. Either not have great leadership and chaos ensues and there's lots of drama. You know, this staff has not allowed that to happen. And I also think it's a reflection of the type of young men that Coach Frost recruited. Let's be honest. There's a lot of character in our locker room. There's a lot of good leaders who desperately want the same thing. And so just been really proud of the football unit or team, I guess, the total team, as you point out. You know, this is a group that's together, that's working very hard to represent our university at a high level.
We need some depth at linebacker. You got any eligibility left? We're kind of getting beat up there a little.
Well, I've watched those guys play. I want nothing to do with what those young men, and you know, feel terrible for Nick. I love that young man. I'll tell you what, really smart football player, physical football player. Our defense is going to miss Nick, and hopefully we can get Luke back. You know, not sure where he is, but you know, that's part of what happens in football, and particularly in the Big Ten. This is a very physical league, and it's never going to be easy, but this is a great opportunity. We've seen young men step up before when needed them. You know, Malcolm out there at corner. Love to see little 13 run around making plays. So,
fantastic.
You know, you worry about Nick. I talked to him a little bit, and he said, still have a great chance to lead. I'm still a captain, and I'm still going to do my part. And that's the type of young man he is.
You mentioned Ireland. He got hurt there, worked his way back from that one, and now the second injury the other night. That was tough to see. All right, 402-413-2400. Let's head to the phones. Let's go down to Missouri. Frank, you're going to lead us off tonight. Good evening. You're up with Trev.
Thanks for taking the call, guys.
Sure. Hi, Frank.
And, yeah, hi, how you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to say that this coaching staff has showed a lot of spirit in jumping up and down and patting players, and I think they really have brought them up a long way from what they were. And another question I have to ask you, is the Tom and Nancy Osborne complex going to be closed after we get the new facility built?
It's a great comment and a great question, Frank, and I thank you for noticing that. Yeah, the passion and the energy of our coaching staff, as we were sort of alluding to earlier, is really at a high level, and I think that's really important for those young men. You know, relative to the Tom and Nancy Osborne Center, that's part of all of our process as we start to think about moving into the Go Big project. You know, we've got an executive committee that's working very hard to look at, as we've talked about, Memorial Stadium modernization plan, and we've talked a little bit previously about, you know, some of the Board of Regents approved process to allow us. But it's not just Memorial Stadium. The reality is we have all these backfill opportunities within Memorial Stadium, like the Tom and Nancy Osborne Athletic Complex, where a lot of those functions are going to be moving over to the Go Big. So, you know, I think it's big enough and it's challenging enough that it's beyond my capability, and so we're gonna engage the best and brightest. I've got an internal team of our own facilities folks and a committee working on making some recommendations to make sure our executive committee understands. I really want to do the best we can to have as many of our staff together. I think part of a great culture is keeping people together, seeing people. That's why that training table is so important. When all of us can come together, there's people coming from Devaney, coming from the Hibner Soccer Complex, coming from across the street in development and ticketing. We all come. We need to be together. We need to see each other, and that's going to be an opportunity for this whole strategic plan around the stadium to see how we backfill some of those opportunities. So don't really have an answer for you today, Frank, but given some time, hopefully we'll be able to have that for you.
You pleased with the progress of the Go? Are they on schedule? What are you hearing?
Yeah, really pleased. You know, I mean, there's, with any project this size, you know, there's some natural challenges that we're working through, but the team is working really hard. I think we're still on schedule to be able to get football moved in there. That's the, you know, there's some timelines that are really necessary there, and if people get a chance to come by the stadium, and if you just come over here on the east side, you can really see it sort of taking shape. I mean, it is a massive project, and really excited how the impact it's going to have not only on our football program but all of our student athletes. This is going to be a facility that I truly believe, Greg, that we're going to have the premier development facility in college athletics.
Wow.
That's what our donors have brought. Obviously, that comes down to people, and that's going to be really important. But from a physical component, based on where it's located, the size, the capability, the technology in it, we're going to have an opportunity to really develop at a high level.
Crypto King in our YouTube stream wants to know what you can do to keep Trey Palmer for another year. He's had a heck of a season.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. He's getting to the point where, as you watch the season go, and you know, I like to watch body language a little bit. When you're out there on an island as a corner and you look up and you see Trey, you know, I mean, that's got to be the most uncomfortable feeling. But I remember way back, you know, prior to Mickey being named interim coach, he was a wide receiver coach. And, you know, he was very confident that time. He said, in looking at the Big Ten and looking at, I mean, there's great players, great corners, don't get me wrong, but really felt like we had an advantage with Trey that, you know, I think people really, I think they miscalculate his speed. I don't know if it's his gait or what, but he, right now, they're having a difficult time covering him. He runs great routes. He's got great hands, and you know, he's been a great teammate, and really proud and grateful he's on our team.
You were talking about tickets for football. We're on the cusp of the basketball season beginning. In fact, the men open Sunday at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The women have their exhibition game a week from Sunday. How are we doing on ticket sales for basketball?
Just doing extraordinary, and again, just so grateful for our fan base. You know, I can report that we've sold right at 11,500 season tickets for men's basketball. In addition, we've sold 274 six-game packages, so that's a lot of support. And then Coach Williams, better come out and watch this women's basketball team, preseason ranked in the top 25. They're right at 3,200 season tickets, and they've sold 162 five-game packages. So most of those seats for men's basketball are in the 300 level, but still, you know, some introductory pricing available for both of those programs, and so I think people can get access to those programs at prices that are really a great value for families. So I'd love to have them come out and see those programs.
Your last show, you announced that you were going before the Board of Regents to allow alcohol sales at basketball games. It got approved by the Regents. Everything on, is it a go for the games coming up here in the next week or so?
You know, we still got a step or two. I think the city council approved it.
They
and
did.
At this point, I think, Greg, where it is, it's with the mayor. We've got a great partnership with the mayor, and confident that we'll get through that final step. And if we do, then we'll be prepared and plan to move forward with those sales at the first exhibition game against Shadron for men's basketball.
Great, fantastic. Yeah. Something that was really sad for the whole Lincoln community was Tom Lorenz, who has been the only one who's run PBA since it opened, tragically passed away a couple weeks ago. I know he was a good friend to a lot of people in this community.
You know, tremendous amount of respect for Tom. The way he ran his operation, the way that he demanded the people underneath him run their operation, the professionalism, attention to detail. There was no better partner for the University of Nebraska than Tom Lorenz. And just on a personal note, you know, when I was in Omaha at UNO and we were working through our process, someone made a recommendation that I come down and talk to Tom Lorenz. And I think it might have been Regent Tim Clare. And I did. And I reached out to him. And, you know, he immediately responded. He spent nearly a day with me and our team, just telling us what he had learned about operating Pinnacle Bank and what some of the challenges are, what mistakes not to make. And so clearly, just a first-class individual. Tom is going to be really missed, and there's a huge shoes to fill, and grateful for that family, and very sorry that we've lost Tom.
Very good. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program moving forward. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. A lot more with Trev coming up.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
One of the best Thanksgiving traditions is football. And this year, one of the best ways to celebrate that tradition is to hit the road with the Huskers and AAA. This year's annual Black Friday game will be played in Iowa City, And AAA is giving Huskers fans a chance to win a road trip package, including 2 game tickets, a gas card, and hotel accommodations. Enter now for a chance to win at Huskers.com/AAA road trip. Again, that's Huskers.com/AAA road trip. Expect something more with AAA.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns for teachers.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVACoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The thoughtfully redesigned 2023 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. It'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance, more than Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. The 2023 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Comparison based on competitor information from manufacturer websites as of June 2022. Duteau Subaru in Lincoln and DuteauSubaru.com.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy, from repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. We're here with the athletic director for the University of Nebraska, Trev Alberts, 402-413-2400. There's some news that's popped late this afternoon. USA Today had filed a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, against the athletic department to see some of the metrics in Scott Frost's new contract. And the judge here in Lancaster County has issued a verdict saying you do have to reveal that. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I thought for a variety of reasons that, it was in the best interest of the university, not to. And so university chose to challenge, that lawsuit. And as you mentioned, the judge ruled that not in our favor. And so I think we have 7 days to release. So it really isn't a huge secret. What I wanted from Scott, and we talked about a lot, was incremental progress. And so what Scott and I had talked about is we needed to get to a bowl game, and not a backing into a bowl game, minimum of 6 games. And so if we could win 6 games and get to a bowl game, then we could sort of revert back to, his original contract. And so we'll release those. We're not going to appeal this. I thought it was important and more of a sort of an HR type of personal improvement deal. Obviously, the judge viewed it differently. So we'll be releasing that in the appropriate time. But I thought it would be fair on the show tonight to just make people aware. That's the extent of what those metrics look like. Is I wanted to see improvement, and I thought it was a minimum level that we get to a bowl game and win at least 6 games.
Is there something similar that would apply to Fred Hoiberg, your men's basketball coach?
No, there isn't any document that even exists with Fred. Fred and I, it was more verbal. That's what my intent was with Scott as well, and I think it was more comfortable for Scott to have something in writing, and so we went down that path. But, as an athletic director, you have these kind of conversations all the time, with every one of your coaches. You have to establish what the expectations are, and you create goals together. And but that's kind of where we are on that. It'd be nice to put that behind us and move forward. So I guess our fans can be looking for some communication, both in our local press and then maybe even national, about what the actual metrics were.
Okay, very good. Let's go to the phones. Up to Omaha, Kathy, you're joining us next. Good evening.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
Great, Kathy. How are you?
Yeah, good. So my question has to do kind of in the realm of media, and the Good Life videos that I see on Twitter, I just love them.
Well, great.
So, yeah, but what I was wondering is it's only about football. Could we do girls or women's volleyball, bowling, the softball team? I mean, that would be great.
Yeah, so it's a great question, Kathy, and so all of those, there's a specific video production team, creative media within football itself, and so you can kind of see I'm sorry, I'm not very. What are the little things in the corner of the
bugs?
Right,
little bugs.
Well, no, you know how we have the helmet for football with our, and then
graphics,
it's the Huskers.
The graphics.
The watermark.
The watermark.
Thank
is
you,
that
Jessica.
it? I don't know what it is. My point is you can kind of tell where there's a coming from based on that. So Aura in our football program, who works specifically with football in creative media, those are being created through our football program. And so but I do think Kathy has a great point, is could we not take some of that thinking and extend it? There's a massive effort and investment at the University of Nebraska in that creative media area, and we've got a football-specific group, and then Nick Burkhart within athletics. Those two work together and collaborate, and perhaps there's some area to continue that integration.
And they do a lot of videos with all the different sports.
Oh, absolutely.
They may not just be labeled the good life like the football
Right.
ones are
That's
kind of
right.
labeled.
That's right.
So,
But
some really creative things that they put out.
It really is. They do such a great job.
Yeah.
You know, and it's some of the best stuff that comes out of our department, frankly. I mean, those are some creative young people.
Very good. Kathy, appreciate it. Thanks for the phone call. Let's stay in Lincoln next and talk with John. Good evening, John. You're up with Trev.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great, John.
I'm in my late 70s, close to 80, and our family's been supporting Nebraska football since the 30s. And we're not big donors, but we put in thousands of dollars. And I guess the thing that is encouraging to me, I see all my older friends that are my age happy and smiling about Nebraska football right now. And I hope you take that into consideration when you go forward. Maybe I'm biased, but I am really happy with Mickey Joseph and what he's done and what he's done to the fans. And the fans are the people that make the program go. They are the ones that put the money into the program and make things happen. And I hope you keep that, in the back of your mind. I'm really happy to see that you're down there, you're supporting him, you're supporting the team. But the other thing, you mentioned basketball. And we look at the coach we have now, and the second and third worst seasons in Nebraska history in basketball are under our present coach. And I hope you hold him to the same standard that you hold Scott Frost. And if things aren't going well after the 7th or 8th game, you're not afraid to put an interim coach in there. And I'd like to know your comment on that. And good luck with the rest of the season.
Well, thank you, John. First of all, I want to thank you for your years of support. And I know they haven't always been great years, but it's people like you and your passion that matters to us. And so your opinion matters as well. I also want to acknowledge and tell you I appreciate your comment, relative to Coach Joseph. And I totally agree. I think, Mickey's done a great job and done a great job of rallying not only our team, but creating a belief and having an energy. That's part of the reason why when we made the decision in identifying who that interim coach could be, why Mickey really stood out to me, because I knew he had that type of personality, and I knew people would gravitate towards him. And I think that's really important. I'm really looking forward to seeing our men's basketball team. Fred Hoiberg's done a lot of really good things this offseason. I like the approach. I like the changing approach towards a focus on toughness and defensive play and rebounding and sharing the basketball and those types of things. I tell our coaches all the time, I watch our fans. I had a great privilege years ago of playing here, and, our fans don't demand you win every game. They really don't. It's more about how you operate and how you play. And do you play together? Do you have the effort? Do you have the energy? Sure, we want to win more than we lose, but at the end of the day, it's about having teams that represent the values of Nebraskans. It's toughness. It's respecting everybody but fearing nobody. It's those basic core fundamentals that I think Nebraskans identify with, and it's incumbent upon us and me as a leader to ensure that our coaches are creating cultures and programs that reflect what's important to our fan base. And I'm excited about seeing where men's basketball goes this year.
The ticket numbers you gave out, over 11,000 season tickets for that program, still says people support the program and at the present time support Fred Hoiberg.
Well, it's actually, if you add those up, you're really close to 12,000, because the other one's just basically a mini package.
Right.
So you're looking at 12,000 in essence, season tickets that are sold. So, but at the same time, John's right. We can't take that for granted.
Right.
And we won't take it for granted. We'll keep holding ourselves accountable and keep pushing. But I'm really excited about what Fred and Nate and all of our coaches have done there.
Let's head back to the phone. Let's go to West Point. Pete, you're up next with Trev. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Pete. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, other than I can't figure out what you call the thing on Twitter or whatever that is.
You had me lost too.
We still don't know what it is, Pete. If you know what it is, maybe you can help us.
Oh, I still got a flip phone. Can't help you there.
Those are coming back, by the way.
They're coming back, Pete.
This is kind of an odd phone call, but I wanted to call in and just find out how you're doing physically, mentally, It's a lot of stress. What you're going through is a lot more stress than people realize. You're a diehard Husker guy, so it's got to really hurt you. So I just wanted to call and say, in the deepest, darkest hour rises, the shining stars. So I want you to keep the faith. I'm so happy you're the athletic director. You will steer us in the right direction. I have all the faith in the world, but I wanted to call and find out how you're doing.
Well, Pete, that's really meaningful to me. Thank you for doing that. We're doing fine. I've got an amazing wife. She's kind of the rock in our family, and I'm grateful for that. A lot of people praying for us, a lot of people praying for me. My faith is really important to me as well, and I'm grateful for that. And I care deeply about this place, and we're going to work as hard as we possibly can. And I agree with you. I think I think through the darkest times, if we stay the course, stay together, and keep working, sooner or later the rain stops. But when the going gets tough, you keep going. That's what I believe in. So we're going to keep going. We're going to keep fighting. And but I really appreciate you mentioning that. But we're doing fine.
I saw you smile on Sunday. You were sitting there courtside watching the third-ranked Husker volleyball team take care of Northwestern. You had some fun that day.
Well, it's kind of hard not to smile. Again, we can take for granted. Let's not take for granted what John Cook and that volleyball team are doing. And by the way, they've got a couple tough road games coming up now, going to Purdue and Ohio State.
Illinois and then Wisconsin next week.
So they've got a tough stretch, but we just kind of take for granted that here's this team and they just have all this talent. The amount of work, focus, passion, dedication that coaching staff and that team puts in to making sure that they have the type of volleyball team that our fans are proud of is pretty remarkable. But I love sitting down there because I get to sit right next to the other team, and sometimes I hear little comments from their coach or from their players. And one of the things that is the coolest thing is at the start of every game when we're doing the introductions and our fans are really into it and the lights go down and we have all the just the enormity of it and how important volleyball is in Nebraska. Most of the other teams have never seen anything like that. They've never been in a venue like that has that kind of fan support, and I can just kind of see them going, wow, this is incredible. So again, it just keeps going back to our fan base, people who care about us, but just like we did when we kind of took for granted maybe 60-3 a few years ago, let's really enjoy all this. We're not guaranteed volleyball success in the immediate future or the long-term future. So let's just really appreciate these young ladies for what they stand for as people, the type of athletes they are. They're the best of the best, not just as volleyball players, but they're incredible young women, and it's such an honor to get to be a part of their journey.
A couple of questions in the chat room about the attendance record, which now belongs to Wisconsin. Any more progress on how to wrestle that away from them?
Well, we're working with the city on tearing down Pinnacle Bank Arena and
thinking a few more seats.
Yeah, we're going to build a 25,000 seat venue. No, I've talked to John a little bit about it, and we've laughed about it, but we'll see what we can do. I mean, a lot of people have talked about outdoor game in Memorial Stadium, and I'm not sure how that works. Maybe you combine it with a concert or something and make it a celebration of volleyball. Maybe we try to get some of the other volleyball teams in the state, to come in there, play multiple, but we'll dream a little bit. John loves to say dream bigger, and there's no doubt in my mind, as we said before, that that's a record that belongs in Lincoln, Nebraska. And so, we're a little bit limited from a facility perspective, but, we've got options. They may not be good options, but we've got options.
Fun to dream. Fun to dream. I want to ask you about another John that's one of your coaches, John Walker. Huskers soccer has now locked up a bid to the conference tournament. Top 8 teams advance. That's all that get out. They are now in with a home match and a road match to go in their regular season. They've shown some nice improvement this year.
They really have. I'm really proud of John. We have high standards here, and we have communicated very clearly. And let me tell you something, John and that coaching staff have responded. John has worked really, really hard. And I know what John would say is, hey, listen, it's not about us, it's about our team. He's got a young team. They continue to grow. They're very talented. And so if you haven't had a chance to get out there and watch the women's soccer, we don't have a lot left. Get out there and watch our women's soccer program. They're fun to watch. They work really hard. I mean, that's a hard-working team. They've qualified, and I would not sleep on our team now that they're in the tournament. About anything can happen. So I'm grateful to John and all of his hard work. You know, he's been here a long time. He's invested a lot in this program. He's had to rethink some things here recently. He's made some changes himself, and he's being rewarded for it. So I'm grateful for him.
Last home match, Thursday night. Penn State will be out at Hibner Stadium, 7 o'clock for the start of that match. Folks, visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 4th. Get yourself entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Wisconsin game on November the 19th. That will include a pregame tailgate. See participating AGCO locations across Nebraska. You could be a winner this season. Need to get a break in, 402-413-2400. Mark in Omaha. Hang on, we'll get to your call next.
Shop Woodhouse Chevy first for your next SUV and experience the difference. We offer a full lineup of SUVs so you can find the one that best fits you and your lifestyle. The Equinox, Traverse, Blazer, and Tahoe all offer capabilities and features that will exceed your expectations. Plus, we make it easy to shop, finance, and purchase in-store or online at WoodhouseGM.com. Find new roads and explore all our inventory arriving daily at our dealership in Missouri Valley, Iowa.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Pass by Duzman, not good. Bump set over to the left. O'Gorman, the lefty. Meredith O'Gorman, a freshman. Roll shots it. Now Nebraska. Bump to the left side. Maddie Kubik. Kaboom! Out of system. Bump set. And Kubik. Night on that one. 20-13.
Hey, Huskers fans. Tomorrow, Huskers volleyball takes on Purdue in a showdown of Big Ten powers at the Devaney. John Baylor and Lauren Cook West take the airwaves at 6:30 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics, research, and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm journalism student Sam Pineda with Campus News. UNL has been awarded over $14 million by the U.S. Department of Commerce to expand robotics research and teaching spaces, part of a $25 million award given to the state of Nebraska to advance robotics research. The funding will allow the university to educate and train the next generation of Nebraska workers, entrepreneurs, and innovators for careers of the future.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Trev Alberts with us till the top of the hour. Still time if you want to be a part of this one with a call or a text. 402-413-2400. To the phones we go. Mark in Omaha, you are up next. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sharpe, and good evening, number 34.
Good evening, Mark.
All of my questions are going to be directed only toward the football program.
Okay.
I want to ask only you of what you are looking for is where you want this football program to do, what type you want to build. Are you going to go back to the Boyd Epley type of performance days? Are you going to make us tough again? Because Nebraska is just not tough like they used to be. And one last question. How and what is Mark May doing these days? Have a good evening.
Well, I'll start with Mark May. I think Mark's doing well. He continues to sort of dabble in some areas of the media. I don't know if it's XM radio. I talked to him about maybe a couple months ago, but he's also gotten pretty involved in some charity work. He's got a real passion for some stuff in Oneonta, New York, where he's from, and so he's pretty involved in some civic stuff. Mark's not a bad guy. He just was wrong a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things that happens to all of us from time to time. But, you know, Mark, I really appreciate the question. And while I don't want to go into too many details, I will say this. I think, you know, what am I looking for? I think, you know, first and foremost, to your point, Mark, this is a program that's always had an identity relative to toughness. This is a program that was about physicality. You know, people talk about, well, you don't have an identity. Well, there's different types of offenses and defenses. I don't think you have to run the triple option to be a physical football team. I'm not suggesting that. But I do think part of your DNA, part of your culture is you start with toughness. And maybe I'm just an old-fashioned guy, and I know I'm getting there, at least if I'm not. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think schemes are important. I think, you know, but football, we've made football a very complicated sport. But at the end of the day, by and large, the team that is the toughest and the most physical is generally going to win the game. Now, are there things to it, Greg? I mean, are there turnovers? Well, sure. You know, are there other factors, penalties that might get in the way of that? Yes. But football's still a gladiator sport. It is a game that's won by and large in the line of scrimmage. Now you can hide some of those deficiencies, but I think you have to make a commitment. There was a very clear standard for a very long time about here is that we are going to be the most physical team in the game. That was just who we were. That's what you bought into. And the fact of the matter is there are certain players that weren't a good fit with that culture. That's okay. Probably better they not be here. So I'd like to start with that.
Very good. Mark, appreciate the phone call. Time to tell you to buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Need to slip our final break in. Still time if you want to be a part of it. 402-413-2400. We're back to wrap it up next.
Touchdown, Nebraska! If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Got it! Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Final few minutes of Hour 1 of Sports Alley. Hour 2 coming up next. After the top of the hour break, we're going to talk Husker swimming. Pablo Morales. You have a lot of great athletes that are coaches. I don't think any of them are better than what Pablo Morales. That's one of the best American male swimmers of all time running your program.
Just an incredible athlete, but also just an incredible coach, an incredible person. You know, what I really appreciate about him is, have you ever seen him have a bad day?
No.
I mean, the guy he's Mr. Positivity, cares deeply about those young ladies. And listen, I mean, there's some disadvantages that he has in the program right now relative to some facilities and some of the competition, and we're doing the best that we can to help him. Never complains. never makes excuses, just puts his head down and works and does the best he can. Got a lot of respect for him, and just grateful he's our coach.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing from him coming up an hour or two. Rifle's also underway, bowling's underway. A lot of those kind of transition sports are going now. Fall all the way into spring as they get cranked up.
That's
exciting.
Right. Exciting.
Curtis on a text line said, hey, wanted to say great job getting Damon Benning to be a part of the radio broadcast. He has a very high football IQ. The broadcast was great.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate that feedback. And I want to thank you, Greg. You know, you do a great job and consummate professional. And I'd like to salute Matt Davison. 19 years of service, and there's no doubt that Matt, cared deeply and was really passionate about our program. But to be able to transition in a way where we're able to go from Matt Davison to Damon Benning, I thought was really, really good. Heard a lot of great feedback. I know Damon's really excited about being on the broadcast.
Yeah, we got a ways to go. Let's hope there's some good wins coming down the stretch for the season. Bye week, off week, the football team needs it. Probably the athletic director needs it too. A little time to kick back and relax.
Yeah, I just found out the other day that actually Mom decided it's girls' weekend, so my wife will be gone this weekend too. So it's just me, and I'll watch some football, relax. And she's even taking the dog to the sitter, so I got no responsibilities. It's going to be a great weekend.
That's glorious. That sounds glorious right there. Hey, our Sports Auditing Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Question on the text line, Trev, when are we going to see next year's football schedule? Any update on that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and some of us are wondering the same thing. So we've got Big Ten meetings coming up next week. We're heading to Chicago, and it's close. I would say even imminent. We're working through some of the final details of it. We'll be seeing it very soon, and I know it's a really sensitive thing for not only our fans, but a lot of fans. I mean, people are scheduling weddings around it, and they're waiting to know how this is going to work. There will be some changes to what was previously communicated. I think within a week to 10 days, we'll have some clarity on that.
Okay, very good. One last one. I've still got a little over a minute to go. Went to an event at Haymarket Park a few weekends ago, and the entire infield was ripped apart. Are they putting in new grass?
We are. You're going to see some real improvements at both of those fields, Bowlin Stadium and at Haymarket. I think having a new playing surface is going to be great for our baseball program and for the Salt Dogs and our partnership with that group. So it's time. I think it was 11 years before that's been replaced. So excited about that, and some other minor changes at Haymarket that I think are sort of more capital maintenance improvements. And then over at Bowlin Stadium, we're going to get turf in the outfield. We're going to have a padded wall for the young ladies. So we've got great facilities, but it's really important that we every year make sure that we're maintaining them and slightly adding to them, making sure the experience of our student athletes is a good one and a safe one.
This texture didn't say this. They might have been out there for the Morris Possible rally, which I heard was great. It was chilly.
It was fantastic. Our student athletes did such a great job, and I walked on a balance beam with gymnastics. I learned to throw the javelin with our track team, and what I learned is I'm not very good at any of it.
Those are not your things. Those are not your things. Appreciate you coming in. Have a great week. Let's enjoy the bye.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where the Huskers shop. All right, coming up next hour, we'll talk Husker swimming and recap all the rest of the day's headlines. All that straight ahead. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Pass by Duzma, not good. Bump set over to the left. O'Gorman, the lefty. Meredith O'Gorman, a freshman. Roll shots it now. Nebraska. Bump to the left side. Maddie Kubik. Kaboom! Out of system. Bump set. And Kubik. Night on that one. 20-13.
Hey, Huskers fans. Tomorrow, Huskers volleyball takes on Purdue in a showdown of Big Ten powers at the Devaney. John Baylor and Lauren Cook West take the airwaves at 6:30 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
I would say that the reputation of I3 Bank is stellar. It is one of integrity.
Carmen Tapio, President and CEO of North End Teleservices and I3 Bank customer.
It is one of honesty. It is one of following through with what they say that they're going to do, and that is an amazing relationship to have in banking today.
Supporting local Nebraska businesses for nearly 100 years, I3 Bank, intelligent banking. Visit i3.bank to hear more of Carmen's story. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too, and we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Greg Sharpe. The Women's Associated Press preseason top 25 basketball poll was released today, and for the first time since 2014, that poll includes Nebraska. Amy Williams' Husker squad ranked 22nd. The Big Red, who were in the NCAA tournament last March, are coming off of a 24-9 season. South Carolina is the preseason #1 squad. The Big Ten, well represented. Iowa's at 4, Indiana 11th, Ohio State 14th, and Maryland checks in at number 17. The Huskers will have their lone exhibition game on October the 30th against Washburn, with tip-off scheduled for 1 o'clock at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The NBA season begins tonight. A pair of games on the slate for the association. First quarter, Philadelphia leads Boston 18-17. Later tonight, it's the Lakers visiting the defending champion Golden State Warriors. The Major League Baseball playoffs continue today. An elimination game in the American League Divisional Series. The New York Yankees bested the Guardians of Cleveland 5-1. Yankees and Astros will start the ALCS tomorrow. The National League Championship Series about to get underway. In fact, it is underway now. Philadelphia out in San Diego to take on the Padres. Need to buy or sell heavy equipment, trucks or trailers? Go Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Now get ready for Sports Nightly coming up here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Lonnie Dodson, the former BYU Cougar, serves. Good pass, Maddie. Quick attack, pick Alec. You can't stop her. You just try to contain her.
Snap back, Casey looking to throw. Holds, throws deep down the field, looking for Palmer at the goal line, makes a catch. Touchdown, Nebraska. Trey Palmer burns the secondary of the Boilermakers.
Now Northwestern in the black tops. Thomas Ayara, triple block. The triple. Second Big Red block of the afternoon. Caitlin Horde, Whitney Lundstein, Allie Peyton Horse. That's about 20 feet of combined humanity.
Snap. Back to throw. Steps, throws wide open at the 45. Making the catches. Palmer to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Breaks a tackle to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Down to the 7-yard line. Another big, huge play by Trey Palmer. He's over 200 yards receiving in this game.
Back row. Here comes a free ball by the libero. And it's a near kill until Lexi Rodriguez saved it. Unreal. Free ball over. Long shoot set. And a miss hit by Allie Holland. Lexi Rodriguez kept it alive. It's 19-9. They're on their feet in Lincoln.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly here on a Tuesday night. Thanks again to Trev Alberts, the Vice Chancellor, Director of Athletics for the University of Nebraska, spending an hour with us. He does that every month during the academic school year, and so great to have him on. And man, Jessica, we covered a lot in those 60 minutes.
Yeah, and how many sports did you talk about, too? Almost all of them.
Pretty much.
Soccer, swimming, you had basketball,
I mentioned
football,
bowling and rifle.
Title IX, baseball, softball, you got almost all of them in there, too.
Checked off a lot of things, got a ticket update on a bunch of things, and so, yeah, there was a lot in there. And, you know, I don't know if people were disappointed. He's not going to come on here and talk about what he's going to do with the future of the program. That's got to play itself out. And we were getting a lot of text, people wanting to know, you know, what does Mickey have to do to keep the job? Well, he's just not going to go down that path, nor should he. He's got to leave this all kind of open-ended.
Yeah, for sure. And it's still a work in progress. I'm sure he's still evaluating, and you know, he said it from the start. He's going to take his time and make sure he goes about his due diligence and gets the right person for the job. And he's just, he's going to take his time with it, and he's not going to come out prematurely, because I think he's still evaluating what Mickey Joseph is doing with this program. So there's no need to come out and make any speculations or put any pressure. And right now, I mean, I think this team has bought into Mickey Joseph. I mean, how many times do I do an interview and you hear the athletes bring up unsolicited how much they believe in him? And so let's see where this thing goes and see what Mickey can do from here on out. But I don't think there's any set metrics, and I think he's still, again, just evaluating and seeing where he wants to take this program and who the right leader is for this job.
Still 5 games to go of the season. Also, in essence, we had breaking news there with the ruling coming down from the Lancaster County judge today that Nebraska does have to offer up the metrics that were laid out for Coach Frost to continue on with the job here. Nebraska was trying to block that. The judge said, no, you gotta release that out there. And he basically said, he goes, well, it's pretty simple. You needed to get to a bowl game. You needed to show improvement. And you couldn't get into a bowl game at 5-7. You needed 6 wins. I think that's the gist of that.
Yeah, for sure. And he said more of that will be coming out, but stay tuned. I guess all the specifics that are required to be released is what he said. I don't know when did he.
By the end of the week.
Yeah. So that will be all of those specific details. But yeah, big news there and breaking news. Always love it when he breaks some news here on the show.
Right. And I followed up with, is there a similar arrangement for Fred Hoiberg? And he said, we didn't put anything in writing, so there's nothing to reveal with Fred Hoiberg. So where there was something actually in writing for Scott Frost, and that's what the media, and that's their job, is to go and try to get those answers to those things. And that's what they were asking to see, and they will now see all that. But I think what he told us tonight is probably most of that.
Yeah, and I don't think it was anything trying to be secretive. I just think it was, one of those things there was a lot of pressure going into this season, from the outside. And so I'm sure it was just one of those cases trying to protect and, not add anything. Because then you think about the players in this deal, too. Because how many times have we heard Trev talk about how much the student athletes and their well-being. And so if you go into a season and these student athletes know, hey, you better win 6 games or your coach is getting fired, or getting let go, it's not something that you want to put on their shoulders. Right. And so, a lot of it is probably protecting them and not putting hey, this is what you have to do this year, or you're the people that you came here to play for, their worlds could be turned upside down. It's just not what you want.
So, folks, if you have some reaction to what you heard last hour and you want to discuss it with Jessica and I, we'd love to do that. 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. I had this in the ticker, and I chuckled today when I saw the poll come out. Last year, Nebraska couldn't ever get in the poll. And we're like, come on, they're like 19-3 or whatever at one point in time. You're like, why are they not ranked? And here they are. So sometimes it's a little slow burn to get it to where it should be. I'm not saying they shouldn't be right now. They should, but they should have been last year.
Yeah.
And they never were.
Well, shoot, they were in the way too early top 25 back in March, when the season ended.
Yes.
So I think just seeing what this team did, and yeah, they had some big wins over top-ranked team to Indiana, Michigan, and they never were in the top 25. But now I think hopefully, I think there's a lot of, Megan Kahn has done a fantastic job of bringing awareness and getting the word out there about these Big Ten women's basketball teams. And so I think, people are taking notice of, there's a lot of talent coming back for this Nebraska women's basketball team. And yeah, they deserve to be in the top 25. And the Big Ten has some talented teams. Look what Iowa's done, and Michigan, and so Indiana. There's so many good teams and good competition that Nebraska hung with the best of them a year ago, and they got almost everybody back. Yeah, they deserve to be in that conversation.
I had a mistake in my ticker. I didn't put Michigan in as another Big Ten team that's ranked. They're 25th, so they're in the poll as well.
But yet Michigan was picked in higher than Nebraska in the conference poll, right?
One of the two. I think the coaches, but not the media. How about that? So the media. Sometimes the media does some good things here. Also, Nebraska will play Creighton pretty early in the season. They're ranked 21st. They will play in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. They'll play Virginia Tech. They're ranked 13th. So the schedule is going to be really interesting, I think, for Amy Williams' team to play. And that's good. I think that did kind of hurt them a little bit last year. They didn't have a lot of those marquee non-conference wins, that they're going to have the opportunity to get a couple this year.
Yeah, and on the road, I mean, it's definitely a challenging schedule, and I think Amy Williams and staff and company believe that this team is ready for it. You had a lot of young players, a lot of players that were playing together for the first time a year ago, but now they're ready for those challenges. But also, you have to build that resume to be able to get a good seed in the NCAA tournament. And so, that it was a tough seed for them, 8-9, and a tough matchup with Gonzaga. But how how do you improve on that? Well, yeah, you take care of business, but you also build that resume. And so this schedule, absolutely, you're already going to play a good conference schedule with the Big Ten. So it's what you do in the non-conference. And this is set up for them to have a heck of a resume for the committee to look at, to give them a better seed and a more favorable seed going into the tournament if you take care of business.
So Creighton is on the non-con, so is Virginia Tech, so is Kansas. Kansas not ranked, but they're like 3 out.
They were good last year.
Yeah.
They had a good season a year ago.
So they might be ranked by the time Nebraska plays them. But if you extended the poll on out, they would be 28th. So they're on the non-conference schedule. So we're going to know a lot about the Huskers, I think, by mid-December. We'll know a lot about this team.
Absolutely. They got some good challenges, and I don't think they're not for a second scared about it. They're ready to go, and they've got a lot of confidence, and they learned a lot last year, got a lot to build off of, and I mean, they are not going to shy away from any of those challenges.
So great news today, and just good recognition. And a lot of times, the preseason poll is kind of a tip of the cap to what you did the year before. So but I did chuckle. I'm like, okay, now we finally get ranked.
You know, I think one thing, though, to watch out for is they were 16-1 inside Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Right.
Their record on the road was not as good. So I think that's one thing. Now that you have some players that are more mature, have gone on the road, that's one thing to watch for. Can you take care of business? Can you steal some on the road to really build that resume again, going back to the resume thing, but also be able to go when you're going to have to travel, right, in the postseason. So how do you go on the road and build your own energy when you don't have Pinnacle Bank, the fans behind you? They love playing in front of this crowd, and it's an incredible atmosphere, one of the best in the Big Ten. But you've got to be able to create your own energy when you're on the road and you don't have those fans behind you, or you're on a neutral site when it's not as loud and supportive of you. And I think this team knows that, and that's a challenge for them. They've got to be able to take what they do at home and how well they perform at home on the road.
All right, again, if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Sports Nightly hotline. Also time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down, a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. When we come back, we'll talk Husker swimming. Their year is underway. They've had 4 duels already. They're 3-1 off to a good start. Swimming starts in late September, and their NCAA championships end in February. That's what their kind of calendar year is like. We're going to talk to longtime head coach Pablo Morales. We'll do that next.
The Lead Center for Performing Arts is celebrating 33 years of bringing the world's top artists to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. Upcoming shows include Hamilton, Yo-Yo Ma, American Ballet Theater, and Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Get tickets at leadcenter.org.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Pass by Duzma, not good. Bump set over to the left. O'Gorman, the lefty. Meredith O'Gorman, a freshman. Roll shots it now. Nebraska bump to the left side. Maddie Kubik. Kaboom! Out of system. Bump set. And Kubik Night on that one, 20-13.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, Huskers volleyball takes on Purdue in a showdown of Big Ten powers at the Devaney. John Baylor and Lauren Cook-West take the airwaves at 6:30 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red. Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter, in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVAcoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
We are back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. A real thrill for us tonight to have Husker swim coach Pablo Morales, 22nd season. Where does the time go, Coach?
Can't believe it. It just seemed like yesterday. 22 years.
Your season's underway. Huskers have already had a couple of duels. You're 3-1. What's the feeling like? What do you feel like after 4 times of seeing your team compete?
Yeah, it's great. We've been focusing mainly on our training and our conditioning. Haven't really worked up to competition quite yet. But they're on our schedule, so we go for it. And the girls have done really well, despite not really having a competitive buildup to the early season meets. It's typically planned that way. You lay a good solid training foundation early season. You do some dual meets to kind of get that competitive those competitive juices going a little bit, and then you slowly build into your more competitive aspects of your season where the training kind of meshes with competition a little bit more later in the season.
It's a long season, right? I mean, you've already started and you don't really finish until February, correct? So that's a long time to kind of a slow build to get ready for February, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We span both semesters, and we start early. We get that training going. And again, you want to lay a good foundation because that's the work that you're going to be building on for a fairly long season that goes through February and on to March for the NC2A championship. So the early season training and the foundational work that we do in the fall and the off-season training work that our swimmers and divers do the previous spring and summer are crucial to being able to kind of extend that training to really impact the competitions later on in the season.
Let me ask you about a couple of your athletes. JoJo Ranby had a pretty good weekend in the breaststroke. Tell me about her.
Yeah.
And where's her ceiling at?
Yeah, JoJo's great. Just a great local product. We're always fortunate to have our great, the best and the brightest stay in town, and JoJo's one of those, and was a great state champion, and has really blended in really well with our program. She's a great kid, a hard worker, a very dedicated, and extremely coachable. So we've had a lot of fun working with her and building on her and the training that she's done with us. It was a little bit of an adjustment for her. It's a little bit different than the training she did prior to Nebraska, and she's adjusted really well and is really just starting. You know, she did great last year, but she's even coming into her own a little bit more this year and has shown early seasons some really great performances.
For folks who may not be real familiar with how swimmers train, and you talked about it was a big adjustment for her, lay out kind of how you get them ready for competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we lay a good training foundation. Usually early season you focus on technique. There is a progressive buildup in terms of your training intensity and your training volume, so that you prevent injury and you continue to build on their physical development progressively, and then you get a little bit more into the quality aspects of your training, a little more anaerobically focused as the season progresses. So usually for competition in the early season, we just kind of throw those competitions in there. We don't really adjust our training. Training is paramount because we lay a good foundation for the later meets in the season. You want to, in our sports, you really want to finish up well, and all the focus is put toward the end of the season. It doesn't mean that the early competitions are not important, but you really focus on your training. So we really don't do a whole lot of specific preparation for our early season meets. That comes a little bit later when you start to decrease the volume, increase a little bit of the intensity, but increase the rest between repeats, so the body is becoming more explosive and making those physiological adjustments to prepare them for peak performance racing.
Do your athletes spend much, if any, time in the weight room, or is it all in the pool?
Absolutely. We're doing some form of dry land 5 days a week. 3 days a week are a little bit more traditional, what you would consider in terms of the weightlifting, the explosiveness. We do some circuit training as well. A couple of the other days we go a little bit of a mobility circuit, which focuses more on stretching, range of motion, relaxation, injury prevention. It's a little, I wouldn't necessarily call it a break, but it does provide something a little bit different in terms of different than the kind of the intensive training weightlifting workload, but it's included as dry land, and so it's a really extremely important aspect. We make some strength gains in the weight room that we transfer to the water, and that's a very important aspect of what we do.
Again, visiting with Pablo Morales, Huskers swim coach. They've already started their season. It won't wrap up until February, so a long season. Gina Jorgensen, tell me about this young freshman.
Yeah. It actually looks like Gina, but she pronounced it Jenna.
Oh, is it Jenna?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Genevieve, so she goes by Jenna.
Great.
And she is just a great addition to our team. She's part of a freshman class that's small but mighty. And the freshmen who have started with us this year are already making an impact, which is what we were hoping that they would fit right in. And she has performed extraordinarily well. She did last weekend. She did a pretty brutal double. On Friday, she did our two distance events, 1,000 and the 500. And the next morning, she did the same thing, 1,000 and 500 against some great competition, and performed extremely well. But what's great about Jenna is that she's a hard worker. She's very coachable. She's very in terms of her focus on getting better as a student athlete is all there, and it's one of those things that her adjustment is good because she's got all the pieces and all the variables, the mental, physical variables that are going to lead to, I think, a very successful career here in Nebraska.
Jenna is
from South Dakota. Yes, just
South
right
Dakota.
next door to us, and we've had some good fortune recruiting out of that area.
Yeah. All right. How about some of the leaders on this team? Who are you kind of leaning on to kind of show the examples in training and all those type of things?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you look at our captains, Madison Ronquillo, who was a transfer from Boise State when their program was dropped, and she has fit in tremendously well as one of our captains, getting a 5th year this year with us, as well as Shannon Stott from Great Britain. She's done very well for us in the butterfly and middle distance events. Berkeley Livingston, a local product, has gotten better each year and is really coming into her own in her senior year. So just really some great leadership and performances being demonstrated by those individuals, and they show a great example day in and day out in how they approach their training, how they get into more of the team elements of our program, which is extremely important. Even in individual sports, we have that really positive and influential team dynamic that's a part of our program, and these girls set a great example and really are invested in the well-being of our total team culture, and they're great girls.
You've had some really good divers in the last decade. Are you continuing that? What about that phase of the program?
Boy, you definitely hit it right there. The diving aspect of our program has been outstanding. We've gone through a little bit of a transition the last couple of years as Natasha Chikina went to Rutgers to continue her outstanding coaching over there, and we've gotten Landon Marzullo to come in and fill Natasha's shoes, and he's done a great job with our diving program. Brings a great energy to the program. Our divers love training with him. We've been able to add on some great divers. Kelsey Claremont from Canada is another outstanding freshman that we're really looking to for great performances this year, as kind of it's kind of keeping in that great diving tradition. And Reagan Hinsey has been has developed through our program and is really starting to make a real impact at a really high level. So she's progressed and gone through quite a journey here, but it's wonderful seeing that development. So we're looking for some really good performances from the diving well this year.
Very good. All right, this week ends with a Friday trip to Iowa City to compete against the Hawkeyes, right?
Yeah, they've gone through a little bit of a transition in their program the last couple of years, but it's Iowa. They've got a outstanding facility with good coaching and a really good pool of recruits to draw from in the state of Iowa. So they've built back up very quickly, and they had a really good run in their first meet this year. We've out of them. We think it's going to be a pretty tight meet. It'll be very competitive, a good challenge for our girls. We're going to drive up on Friday to Iowa City and have a really good duel with them. But I think now, having had that big competitive weekend behind us, I think we're going to be able to build on that and perform even better.
Well, Coach, appreciate you coming in and updating us on the team. We'll stay in touch and we'll follow the progress as you make your way through the season.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Greg.
Pablo Morales with us here on Sports Night. Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Jessica will rejoin me next.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Today's play of the day comes from Nebraska. We pick it up with the local sports announcer at a Nebraska lottery retailer.
Dave enters the store. He makes a move to the checkout counter. Looks like he's going to pass. Yes, he's passing the clerk a few dollars. The clerk takes the handoff and spins around. It looks like he's placed the scratch tickets on the counter, and now Dave has them in his hand. It's the old Scratcherooski. He scratches left. He scratches right. Oh, my! He's done it! Dave has scored a bundle of cash.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies energy to our farmers to help feed the globe. CVA continuously monitors propane levels to ensure neither you nor your animals go a day without heat this winter in your home, shop, or livestock barn. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Visit CVACoop.com and learn how you can lock in CVA propane pricing when you register to win heat for the entire winter with tank monitoring valued over $1,500. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we help you find vehicles designed with purpose and function, prioritizing safety, technology, and the dependability you need. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo to shop in-stock and inbound inventory or to order your new vehicle. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles, including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Jessica Coody, Greg Sharpe with you here on a Tuesday night, 402-413-2400, the number to be a part of the program. Thanks again to Pablo Morales for coming in here. I think you could make a pretty strong case that the best conditioned athletes would be swimmers, right? That's hard.
So I just did a feature on Oliver Martin, who was a swimmer.
And a really good one.
Really good one, a state champ. And he talked about how that's where he learned everything as far as being an athlete, because he was in the pool first, and just the condition that you have to be in, and to the point where when he started playing other sports, he knew that there was no way he could do some of the distance swimming, because you have to do that year round, right? So when he started playing football and baseball, he was strong and had the technique, so he just did the sprints after that, because you literally have to be in the pool all the time to be successful at that.
They pretty much, I believe, swim twice a day. Mornings and nights.
Well, and then you have weight training, and you have different things that you have to do to be able to be elite at that. And it's just so crazy how even on some of the races, just the smallest thing, how you get off the blocks or how you push off on a turn. And all these things, there's so many minute details. And it's a little bit like gymnastics. Like if you take a lot of time off from that, you're going to lose your flexibility. It's crazy how much it goes into being elite at that sport. I
bumped into at the training table today a couple of our gymnasts, and I can guarantee you they didn't get as many wings as Andrew did when they were going through the training table.
Hey, there was a really cool event today. So the Student Athletic Advisory Committee had a luncheon to thank athletics department employees that they don't always get to interact with, to thank them for all the things that they do behind the scenes. And it was really neat. Had a trivia, but I sat next to Kinsey Davis, who I'd mentioned. Yeah. She is, you want to talk about talented. She sang the national anthem. I think she's going to try to sing it at a couple of basketball games, but love talking to her. And a cross-country runner was sitting with him too. And they've got, Big Ten's coming up really soon.
2 weeks, or next weekend.
I was fascinated listening to him talk about too, just the different courses that, you cannot prepare for those courses that you run on. So at Michigan, I think he was saying that like the last leg of it is just straight uphill. And it's like, no thank you on that. But yeah, it was really neat and it was cool. A couple of them got up there and spoke and talked about how much it means to them. And they actually, the life skills came on Kate Frazier and talked about how this was all student athletes. Like they wanted to do this to be able to thank people. So it wasn't something that was put on by the athletics department. This was a student athlete. So there's some really great athletes that we have here. And it was really neat to see the different ones come together and all the work that they're doing. I mean, gosh, they're doing so many things behind the scenes that, other than just competing in the pool, on the court, on the field, all of it. Like it is incredible how much they do.
They'll go to hospitals, they'll go to nursing homes, they'll go to retirement communities, they'll go to grade schools, they'll go to soup kitchens in town. I mean, folks, you should be really proud of these kids. They go to school, they train full time, and then they find a little bit of sliver of time to go do something that helps the community of Lincoln. It's really cool stuff. Jazz Shelley today was added to a watch list, the 2023 Ann Myers Drysdale Award watch list. She's one of 20 candidates. This goes to one of the best guards in college basketball. Good that she's picking up that kind of recognition, and she should. She deserves it with what she's done in her college career.
Yeah, I think for Jazz, though, she's going to have to look to score more. I think she knows that, especially with Sam Hyvee being out. And, boy, we saw times where Jazz just was unconscious from three, and she's such a unselfish player and likes to get her teammates involved, and she's an incredible passer, one of the best passers I've seen play in person, and that's one thing that my dad and brother, they love watching Jazz play because of that, because not everybody has that vision that she has, and so, but she can score, and this team is going to need her to score, so we'll see how she steps up that part of her game. But I thought it was interesting when I had her on the podcast, I asked her, where does your game need to improve? The first thing she said was defensively, which even though she was really good on the defensive end at times, there were a couple of games when I went in the locker room post game and Amy Williams, when Michigan was here in Lincoln and they won that game, Amy Williams credited Jazz for the job she did defensively. And so there were some games that Jazz was asked to guard the opposing team's best player and locked him down. So I thought that was fascinating that of all the things for her to get better at, she wants to be even more of an elite defender. So she's going to be an all-around player, both offensively and defensively, and this team needs her to do that.
Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. You spent some time today around the men's team as well.
Yes,
kind of
we
a photo
did.
shoot, getting ready, because they've got the exhibition game in 5 days.
That is just crazy to me. I was talking to my grandpa today, and he's like, when does basketball start? He could not believe that I have a game on Sunday.
Crazy.
So, but yeah, they were shooting stuff for the big screen and the video board, and so, yeah, I got a chance to interview a few of them and get ready for the exhibition game. I'm excited. They seem to really, really like each other, and the chemistry seems to be there. It's going to be fascinating to see how all these pieces come together, because there are a lot of new parts, and we've seen it with the football team that it's taken a little bit of time on the defensive side of the ball for some of these new players to get acclimated to playing with each other. But these are a lot of experienced guys, so we'll see how they come together. It's also been fascinating to hear them. Boy, defense has been the emphasis, and I even took a picture on their door going out of their locker room. Boy, they have their defensive principles. So when they're going out onto the court to practice, that's the last thing that they see. And so some of the things that they want to do defensively. And they also have a charge board. So who's leading in charges? Who would you say is leading the charge?
Derek Walker.
Nope. Blaze.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been my second guess.
Derek Walker is second, though. So,
yeah. Those pivots, those are the guys that have to step in there, take the contact inside and do that.
That's a big emphasis, is what they're doing on the defensive end.
It's going to look different, folks, because Fred has really always kind of had a system that's free-flowing, and it's really more about the offensive end. I think he's realized to win in the Big Ten, I got to get better defensively. I got to get better rebound of the basketball, and I think he's put together a team that can do both those things way better than what we've seen the last couple of years.
They're athletic and they're fast, and they realize that they're not going to be as big as some of the other Big Ten teams, right, that they match up with. So it's got to start on the defensive end. They've got to be able to get turnovers and rebounds and push it. So the defense is what's going to lead to their offense. They're not going to be a slow it down, try to do sets, and they understand that this is not going to be a team that's going to be successful in that way, and that's not where they're going to generate their offense. It's going to start on the defensive end. And so it has just been, even again unsolicited, defenses comes up with this. Every player that I talk to in every single interview, somehow it goes back to defense. And so that's been a major emphasis. And in fact, CJ Wilcher told me today that's been the #1 emphasis, is how they're locking down on the defensive end.
Well, and maybe his history will prove me wrong. I don't think there's an NBA guy on this team. I don't think there's a draft pick on this team. There's not a Bryce. There's probably not a Delano Band that you go, yeah, that projects to be an NBA guy. But they are solid college players. And sometimes that can equate to more success maybe than just making one guy gets 25 a night or gets his shots, I think it's going to be spread around pretty much.
Absolutely. And I think this is a team that wants to win so bad. And, you got Sam Griesel coming back, that this means a lot to him. And that's what he said. Andrew was hyped after the interview. He was like ready to go because he was like, this is more than basketball to me. This is representing a community. This is doing things other than just playing the sport of basketball. It means a lot to him. It means a lot to Derek Walker in his final year of playing college basketball. This is it for him.
This is it? He can't get a 12th year for next year to come back.
But yeah, and then just some of these older guys, Emmanuel, that just means a lot to them. And it's not, they're team guys, and they understand that it could be somebody different every night, and they're okay with that.
Andrew was just excited to get back and get the wings. That's what he was excited for this afternoon. Folks, if the Huskers return the first or second half opening kick for a touchdown, you could be a winner of a $54,000 credit on a new vehicle from any Woodhouse Auto Family dealership this season. A contestant gets chosen each game week. If you want to get yourself registered, go to huskers.com/Woodhouse for official rules and how to get yourself entered. 402-413-2400. That's the number to be a part of the program. Back to wrap up tonight's show next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get a Hy-Vee Plus Premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, free standard delivery and free express pickup. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. For a limited time, get $50 off an annual Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG. That's right, get $50 off a Hy-Vee Plus membership with code SAVEBIG.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
This is our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Short show for us tomorrow night, just 30 minutes. We have Husker volleyball. They're going to be playing at Purdue tomorrow night. Nationally ranked Boilermakers who they were upset over the weekend by Maryland, but they may be good and mad after losing that. So the Huskers and the Boilermakers tomorrow night 7 o'clock, pregame at 6:30. So we're not here very long tomorrow. Quick.
I'm excited, though. Let's see how they build off of last weekend.
Yep. 3 straight road matches coming up. Purdue tomorrow, at Illinois Saturday, and then at Wisconsin. There's the rematch of last year's title tilt. First time they've played since the championship game.
It's wild, too, because, again, this Big Ten volleyball, it's even the teams that are at the top any given night. Anybody can beat anybody. It's a lot like men's basketball, where there's just everybody is a tough matchup, especially when you start seeing them for the second time.
Huskers are 8-0. You have Wisconsin and Ohio State at 7-1. The one loss to the Buckeyes came to Nebraska. That was a terrific match against the Buckeyes. There's a little bit of separation because the Huskers are 8-0. So those three have kind of risen to the top of the heap. But Nebraska has some hard matches still to come. They play Wisconsin twice between now and the end of the regular season, so some really good matches to go. No football show this week because of the bye week. We will have a volleyball show on Thursday night. You're hosting that. JB is preoccupied.
Yeah, for my birthday. What else could you ask for on my birthday is to host a show with Coach Cook and talk a little Husker volleyball.
Talk about Bud.
Hopefully they get a win, and we can have a party show Thursday and Friday.
We have a full show Friday.
The chat is talking about the party show on Friday. So let's have back-to-back party shows Thursday and Friday.
You know, maybe we'll bring some streamers in here and some hats, some party hats, blow horns, and then really have fun on Friday night.
Maybe we'll bring Bud in.
Bring Bud in. That would be great if he does that. Today is the start of the NBA season. How about that? NBA basketball's back. A little doubleheader tonight on TNT.
I'm surprised Andrew didn't make that his weekly winner, weekend winner.
He thought it was like tomorrow night. He's so out of it. He was trying to tell me about some college players. I'm like, they don't even play for that team anymore. Yeah, they do. And I'm like, no, they don't. He's got to get with it. He's so into his fantasy football team right now, so that's what's got him thrown off.
He's actually kind of winning, you know, so he's actually, if he wasn't winning, he'd be all in on basketball right now.
How's your fantasy team?
Terrible.
Doing? Really?
Terrible.
Yeah, I just didn't have enough time because it was Ireland when a lot of the drafts were going on, and we're flying across it was just crazy those weeks of drafts. So
I mean, and now I had Marquise Brown, and he's hurt. Not a good season for me. Jeremiah's wife, Jeremiah Searle's wife plays, and boy, she's into it. Yeah, and she's more into it than Jeremiah. Jeremiah's like, I'm terrible at fantasy, but she is like really into it. But I guess her team's not any good either.
She's a pretty competitive person.
Oh, yeah.
She really is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we always joke that hopefully the kids get her speed and not his speed. Because, you know, she's a soccer player and really good athlete, and he did not run a very fast 40, which we've talked a lot about. So
we're going to hear part of his podcast on Thursday's show. We'll look forward to that. I think you guys are knocking that out tomorrow.
Yes, we are taping tomorrow, a little bye-week pod.
Very good. And again, second bye week coming up for the Huskers. No football this weekend. There is volleyball. And we mentioned this with Trev last hour, the last home soccer match is Thursday night. That's their last regular season home match. Penn State's in town. Nebraska has sewn up a spot in the Big Ten tournament. Only the top 8 go. They're in, even with 2 regular season matches to go. They can't drop out of 8th place. They're in 7th right now. So good for them, and maybe they can get a win over Penn State Thursday night. Hopefully they can finish it out good.
What do they need to do to get into the NCAA tournament? Win a couple?
The loss Sunday hurt.
Okay.
The RPI dropped quite a bit. They lost to Iowa. That dropped them, I think, to 68 in the RPI.
So they need to probably win at least 2?
Yeah. They probably have to make a little run of the Big Ten tournament. But as Trev said, they've made progress. They've won some matches. They've tied some matches. They found a little bit more offense here late in the year. So encouraging. And we're going to get our girl Sammy back before too long.
Yeah, she's texted me a few times wanting to get back involved, but boy, she's been a little busy. So she'll be back in the spring for sure to help us out.
Very good. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. With 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned, you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Heck of a show. Always great having Trev in here for the hour. A little bit earlier in the month of October for this, but as he mentioned, he's off to some Big Ten meetings next week. And then, folks, we get crazy busy. We get into November. We either have coaches shows or basketball games or volleyball matches during the week. So it gets going to get a little skimpy of us. You're all tired of us anyway, right? A little break from Jessica and Greg.
I'm excited for Amy and Fred to start being in the studio again.
That's right. Good stuff. Thanks to Andrew. Have a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Let Shelter Insurance get you in the game this football season. The Nebraska Huskers are gearing up for another big year, and this is your chance to win tickets from Shelter Insurance and the Husker Radio Network. Contact a Nebraska Shelter agent, and they'll register you for a chance to win tickets to one of 4 home football games this season. Only Shelter agents can register you, so call, email, or drop by for your chance to win. Find an agent near you at shelterinsurance.com/Huskers and ask them to register you to win.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Vaughn with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software